Hi everybody, Gary Heydrich for this week's Fishing Chums Fishing Report. Here we are, the first part of June already. Can you believe this? And good fishing taking place at all three of our area lakes here in Branson. At Table Rock, good bass. They've been up on the points, and bass fishing's been good on a variety of bait. And some crappie up in the Cape Fair area. Out at Bull Shoals, that lake's still up about 30 feet. They're drawing it down. And that big drawdown has really got the bass up on the points, the gravel points. We'll be visiting about this. And some walleye up in the Lead Hill area. We have this to visit about at Bull Shoals. And Taneycomo, I was out there yesterday. Water clarity is not so clear right now. It's green, more of a green tint. They're not releasing near as much water from Table Rock Dam. And the trout fishing has been good. So wow, we got a lot to talk about here. I'm so excited I can't hardly stand it. I'm ready to get out there and get with it. Okay, out on Table Rock. They're really picking up some fish on the gravel points, and long drawn out points. The lake is still up about 10 feet. The water temperature on average is around 75 degrees. And a variety of baits been picking up fish at the rock. Now what I like to do, I've been talking about the last few weeks, is using a grub. Now I like that 4-inch grub, smoked with a red flake, and if there's not much wind, I'll just go to the 1/8 ounce jig head. You don't have to have anything fancy, just a regular, just a grub head. And if there's a little bit of wind, if I'm fishing a little bit deeper, I'll go to the 1/4 ounce. But grubs, I'm telling you, off these long points, down to the lower end, and clear up to the White River, they're picking up fish on grubs. I'd really strongly recommend this for the upcoming weekend. Another thing, swim baits have been good off the points as well. Use this with like a 1/4 ounce, or if you want to go deep at the deep end of the points and try to catch some bigger fish, use like a 6-inch swim bait with like a 1/4 to a 1/2 ounce jig head. That will work for you. Now, if you want to catch some bigger fish, what I'd recommend is getting up in the James River. I was out there a couple days ago. The water clarity is a little dingy out in the middle of the James, but the shoreline's really clearing up. But boy, spinner baits. We've been visiting about this the last 2 or 3 weeks. Spinner baits have really been paying off. You want to catch a bigger fish, it's not so much right on the shoreline. I would back off the shoreline and fish this thing down around 10 feet of water, 10 to 15 feet of water. Any new brush or stumps, pitch that out beyond your target, and kind of a medium retrieve. But when you get to your target, drop your rod tip, let that spinner bait fall, then speed it up and just slow roll it. Gold, I've been using tandems, a gold blade and just a nickel blade. And if you get real dirty water, you may want to go to a chartreuse blade or a white and chartreuse combination. But this has been working real good for me. The gold blade, the nickel blade, and pitching that out, bringing it right to the target, slowing it down, dropping your rod tip, slow retrieve, boom. You're going to catch that bigger fish up the James River, I promise you. Another thing I want you to do this weekend is have a couple different baits rigged up, poles. One, go to the pop R type bait, because there's a lot of surfacing action taking place. They're not staying up very long at times, but white bass are moving right now. They're coming up and popping up off the shoreline on the points. Another thing, if you're out and you're grub fishing and you're using some swim baits on the points, but the wind goes down, it's real quiet, drop off in about 20-25 feet of water and go to the Ned rig. I promise you, you'll catch some fish on the Ned rig throughout Table Rock, especially if it's quiet. That's the same way with getting back up the James with the spinner baits. It's always better with the wind, and the windier the better. And I think you're going to catch some fish on spinner baits up the James. I really think so. Speaking of the James, you want to catch some crappie? Get up there around up the Cape Fair area, around some of the big, deeper docks. Now, if you're not catching anything in the shade, don't be afraid to move out of the shade in the sunlight around the docks. Use bright colors. Use a chartreuse with a pink head. That's always worked good. 1/16 ounce. Pitch it out, maybe on the edge right on the edge of the dock where the sunlight and the shade. Pitch that out and let it drop, let it drop. Watch your line, because there could be some fish in 10 feet of water come up and pop that thing. So always watch that line. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Get down around 20 feet, just kind of jig it back to the boat. And you may want to try maybe a jig and minnow combination might work for you. And another thing, if you're one of the guys that have, you boys have got a secret brush piles up around the Cape Fear area, well, they're picking up some fish down around 15, 25 feet of water around the brush as well. So crappie fishing, they're catching some nice crappie when they're catching them. You know, 12, 14 inches. Once in a while a 15-inch fish can be caught. Look at the docks, fish the docks for crappie this weekend. Okay, let's go over to Bull Shoals right now. That lake is still about 30 feet high. A lot of water, but they're really drawing that water down right now. So this is pushing up the fish on the points. They've been picking up spotted bass and a lot of smallmouth, occasionally some largemouth, and they're using a variety bait on the points, especially the gravel points, the long points, and pitch that baits out. The grub's working good there. They've been picking up fish on swim baits, and also they've been pitching out spinner baits out on those long points, counting it down to about 15 to 20, and slow rolling spinner baits picking up some fish as well. So the points, that's what I do this weekend at Bull Shoals. First of all, find a place to put in. All the boat ramps are history, but a good area to fish this weekend would be up around the Lead Hill area. Picking up fish out there, a lot of bass off the points, and also they've been picking up walleye in the Lead Hill area at Bull Shoals. So what I'd recommend there would be using the flicker minnows or the flicker shad, and I would want color because that water's a little off color. Go to the chartreuse with an orange belly and get that deep diver, get down around 15 to 20 feet of water, troll the flats. And they've been picking up some real nice walleye up in the Lead Hill area at Bull Shoals. And some of the boys have been using the swim baits as well. And in that deep flats, you know, that lake is up 30 feet, so what they've been doing is fishing the flats and using like a 6-inch swim bait with a quarter or even a half-ounce jig head, flipping that out, counting it down, and slow rolling it on the flats, and they've been picking up walleye by using this method as well. Getting back to bass right quick, some of the boys have been going back into the contributaries, the creeks and the coves, and getting back, watching the shoreline for a little shad activity, especially if they can find a good lay down, logs, brush of any kind. They've been flipping jigs and slow rolling spinner baits around some of these areas as well. Just like Table Rock, the white bass are moving. They're starting to surface at Bull Shoals. Keep an extra rod rigged up with any type of a jig bait like a grub, and pop-Rs have been working. And so Bull Shoals looks good, especially up around that Lead Hill area. Picking up some crappie around the docks too there. All right, let's go over to Taneycomo. They're not quite releasing as much water now from Table Rock Dam, so that makes it a little bit more fishable. And that water clarity, I was out there yesterday, and it's not clear like it was. It's more of a stained green right now. Seems like anywhere from Monkey Island all the way down through the landing's been working. Variety of baits, like the last 2 or 3 weeks we've been talking about it. White jigs. Get yourself like an 1/8 ounce or 1/16 ounce white jig, 4-pound test, pitch that out, let it count down on the edge of that current, and just swim it back in. That will catch you some fish. White spoons are working. A lot of the boys are drifting more the last few days with the less current, and they've been drifting. Night crawlers have been working like they have the last 2 weeks. Some people even been drifting some minnows, but I'd really recommend night crawlers. And if you want to do a power bait, really the chartreuse has been the best color at Taneycomo. I think you can get out there at Taneycomo this weekend and catch yourself some limits of trout. I don't think there's any doubt about it. It's been real good. So all in all, in the Branson area, the Tri-Lakes area, we're going to have some good fishing. Great bass fishing over on Table Rock, some crappie being caught, and Bull Shoals. If you want to go walleye, I'd recommend the Lead Hill area and fish the points for bass. Boy, it just looks good this weekend. All right. Well, we do want to invite you to like and share. We really appreciate it. If you have a friend that's into fishing or some friends, be sure to share with them and like us. And then we'd love you to subscribe, because this summer we're going to be doing some more tips and stuff. Not only the weekly fishing reports, we're going to be doing some tips and some fishing shows. So if you're a subscriber, you're automatically going to be reminded that we have a show coming up. So we'd love for you to subscribe. And if you'd like to send us a photo like my friend Steve Brown did, well, send it to fishandchums@gmail.com. chums@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Look like it's going to be a great weekend, everybody. Here we are in June. Ooh, great time to fish. Get out and get bit. I'll see you on the lake. God bless you all.